Hello and welcome back to More Chaotic Spending. This is our weekly check-in for the third week of April. For us, we budget by paycheck, so our weeks don't necessarily line up with the calendar month. But we are going to get started with this.
It's not great, y'all.
It's not, but hi, I'm Bo.
Now I'm Win.
We are trying to pay off $68,000 worth of debt and buy a house so we can have stability for us and his 3 kids, one paycheck at a time. This paycheck is looking a little rough, but we are moving forward and going in the right direction. So, it's not the end of the world. But let's get right into April 4th. So April 4th, we brought in Win's March 7th paycheck. That was $19.93. And then my March 27th paycheck, that's $15.19. And then we're starting off strong with $5 of snacky snacks, dining out, which for us is any food that's not groceries. So if we go to vending machines, if we go to the convenience store and get a drink or get some cookies or anything like that, or if we go to Costco and get like the hot dogs or pizza or whatever, that all counts as dining out for us. So we started out with the $5 on Friday, and then on Saturday the 5th, the copay for the kids came out. That's for their therapy. And then they got $20 of adventure money, and Win got $50 of miscellaneous money. Now, this does not mean he spent that $50. This means that $50 was allocated. So this $50, once it goes into his spending money account, I don't track it. So whatever he does with that money, whenever he does it, I don't track it. But in his main account, that's the money that I track. So that's why he can overspend without actually spending this $50. But I don't have a way to track his cash, so we're just not gonna worry about it. And then more snacky snacks for $5, and I stuffed my digital envelopes for $470, and I'll show you that on the next page. Then more snacky snacks on the 6th for another $5.
Who's hungry?
Yeah. And then we paid our taxes. So I hadn't put it on the calendar because I didn't know when we were going to do our taxes. And we already had the money set aside to pay for it, so that was fine. So we paid $191 this year, so less than last year, which is great. And that came out of the taxes sinking fund. So as soon as we get the refund, this $191 will be replaced. It won't be a saving up over time. It'll just be we're paying for next year's taxes with this year's tax return. So that's fine. And then Intranet came out for $71, and S&M, which is a collections account, that's $50. And then on the 8th, I paid for Amazon Prime. That was $139 out of the subscription sinking fund. And then Win got a Rideshare for $27. Yay! No, I'm not a fan. I'll just leave it at that. I'm not a fan. But what was it that time? You overslept?
I think so.
Yeah, you overslept. Because last week it was you had an emergency dental appointment. But this time you overslept, which I'm not a fan of. But it's better than missing a day of work. So there's that. And then for savings on the 10th, he saved $437 for our wedding. He saved $217 for gifts, $114 for kids, and $32 for summer. And then I saved $12 for Christmas and $388 for moving. Sorry, I bumped the camera. Okay, so that is that. And let's see what that means for our envelope categories here. Now, we cheated a little bit, but oh goodness gracious, I bumped the phone again. We cheated a little bit, but you'll see how this works out. Okay, so groceries. We started with $68, added $70, spent $89. so there's $49 left. For bulk buys, we started with 47, added 60, spent 104, so there's $3 left. Now, this is not actually all bulk spending. What had happened was, Wynn was gonna make soup in our pressure cooker, and it wouldn't turn on. So we had to replace that, and we bought a new one from Costco. It was cheaper than the other couple stores that we checked. So we did get that, and also we got our normal shopping from Costco. So this really, normally bulk buys is only groceries, but we've been abusing the home shopping category, so I decided that like I would
Enough.
yeah, I fudged the numbers a little bit. As long as the math works out, like, it really doesn't matter. But yeah, so that's why that's $140 when it normally isn't anywhere near that. So there's $3 left in bulk buys. Transportation started with 64, added 60, so there's 124. And that is fuel for my vehicle as well as public transportation for Wynn. And then health started with 379, added 80, spent 91, so there's 368 left. That was over-the-counter and prescription medication. And then home shopping started with 0, added 30, spent 18, so there's 12 left. Oh, speaking of which, we need to pick up those couple things that we got from the Amazon locker. And then for birthdays, started with $9, added 5, so there's 14. Clothing started with 187, added 25, so there's 212 left because we didn't spend any. Shoes started with 233, added 25, so there's 258. I think actually it might be time to pause clothing and shoes for a little while. We haven't been spending it really, and we can kind of use every dollar we can get once we move. So I've been thinking about that. What do you think?
I can work harder on wearing out the shoes.
Please don't.
Oh, you mean the other thing? Yeah, that sounds like a good idea.
And then pet care started with 100, added 15, so there's 115. And we need to get more litter. So this is about to go down temporarily. Personal started with 0, added 80, spent 12, so there's $68 left. And then Alphaba started with 116, added 20, so there's 136. Alphaba it's just, my little joke, the Wicked Stepmom thing, Wicked Witch, the Wicked Witch of the West from, oh my goodness.
Frank L. Baum's
Wizard of Oz. From the Wizard of Oz. But she wasn't named in the Wizard of Oz, I don't think. She was named in Wicked.
That sounds right.
So in Wicked, she was revealed as having the name Elphaba. So that's why I named it that. And I only give them this money if they put money in their savings accounts. So this money will grow and grow and grow until they decide to start putting money in their savings accounts again. And we'll see when that happens. But they're not getting a dime until they put money in their savings accounts.
Correct.
Next is looking at the actual budget. So this is the budget for April 4th to April 17th, which for us is the second pay period of April, because for us the first pay period always includes the first, because that's when most of the bills come out. So let's start with inflow. His paycheck $19.93 as budgeted. My paycheck $15.19 as budgeted, because we're budgeting past paychecks. From savings, we actually took $3.30 instead of the $139 because we also paid for taxes in addition to paying for Amazon Prime. So that is a total inflow of $38.42, which is more than budgeted, but that's okay. We just didn't know when we were going to pay taxes.
Now, we're not doing investments because we're not at that part of our journey, but we are at the part where I spend money. Rent has not come up. Kid bills, budgeted 80, so far 40. so that's on track. Internet came and went at $71. S&M collections always $50. That's on track. These things haven't come up yet in the calendar. Adventures, $20 for now. Budgeted $20, got $20. Miscellaneous, budgeted $50, and womped my way to $77, which is less of an overspending than last week. It's still bad. It's not good. So it's a total budgeted $271, total spent $258. Yeah. Okay. That leaves $3,584 left.
I just realized I didn't put in what when saved, so I'm gonna do that real quick. One moment. So for when saving, now that we've done some movie magic.
Priorities are wedding fund, then gifts, then kids' clothes and kids' furniture.
Yes,
Okay.
and back to school.
And then finally summer pay. So wedding fund budgeted $437, got $437. Gifts budgeted $217, got $217. Kids' clothes budgeted $114, got $114. And summer pay budgeted $954, totally got $32. But that's okay, because that's just week one, and it'll have to do for now. But we got our priorities sorted. Subtotal $800, leaving $2,784.
And then we get to my spending. So this is my checking account. We do not share checking and savings, which is why our budget is split, even though we do budget together. So far we have dining out $15, budgeted $30, so we're on track. Groceries in bulk $130, which is half of what's budgeted, but that's on track because the other $130 will be next week. Transportation $60 as budgeted. All of these are as budgeted. So transportation $60, health $80, home shopping $30, birthdays $5, clothing and shoes $50, pet care $15, personal and alphabet $100. I love so much using these digital envelopes because that means my spending can vary wildly and I still won't be over budget. I love that so much, that it allows for a lot of flexibility in spending. But that's a subtotal of $485, which is less than budgeted, but we have some things still to spend. Leaves us with $2,299. Now, for my saving, which is my savings account, highest priority is Christmas, so that got 12, as opposed to the 95 budgeted, but this is pulling random cards, so it was just the cards that we pulled just added up to 12, and that's okay. We'll still reach the goal before the end of the school year. And then moving fund got $388, which is more than what was budgeted. However, moving is kind of urgent right now, and also I found out that my car insurance is going down. So car insurance is going way down, and I might actually have enough to pay for this whole year so far. So we shall see. I still want to save this, but it just might mean I don't have to contribute to it for a while until that's actually spent. So that's good. That is a total savings of $400 for this week, and we still have more to save, but I like to split up the savings between weeks so that if we go over budget in a category, we don't have to take back from savings. So that's a subtotal of $400, leaving us with $1,899. And then for savings spent, it was $139 for Amazon Prime, and then $191 for our taxes. So that's a total of $330, which thankfully matches the savings that was brought into the budget. So that's good. We love it when the math adds up. Leaves us with $1,569 to make it through the next week, which should not be too difficult. I think we're doing okay. Now, there will be more chaos. The whole savings spent here A lot of times it's not budgeted, but that's mostly because I don't know how much it's going to cost. So like taxes, I didn't know when we were going to pay taxes. I didn't know how much it was going to cost because costs can kind of like vary every year depending on if we feel like our taxes are going to be more complicated. We might like level up the service so that we can like get professional advice or something. And sometimes we can find like different discounts online, so sometimes it's cheaper. It all varies. So like savings is saved to be spent. So like it's okay if this comes in unbudgeted or more than budgeted or less than budgeted, like that's fine. What matters is that we are setting aside the money so that it's ready when we need it. But yeah, that's it. That is our check-in for the first week of this paycheck.
And I just want to point out that at a time of significant transition for us, we're gearing up to move. Having separate documents for these things helps to keep track during times of uncertainty like this. So because we are able to go back through what is essentially a template, we can maintain a little bit of a sense of normalcy, a little bit of consistency, and things don't have to feel as chaotic as they actually are in reality. And this is one of the ways that budget beats broke every time.
And never forget that you deserve financial stability, and I hope you have a great day on purpose. Bye.